Welcome to this edition of Your Schools. We are at the Jim Eggers Instructional Support Center today, and I am joined by my favorite superintendent, the best one in the world, Dr. Guy Sconzo.
Elaine, how you doing?
Great to see you.
Thank you.
We've got such a good show this month that
really
I can't wait to even jump into it. We're going to cross a few bridges. We're going to talk a little bit about robots. We're going to have a little girl talk. And we're going to talk to a very special teacher, so it's full.
Oh, it is. It's full, but every one of the segments, I mean, just really very unique, interesting kinds of stories to share with all of you.
It really is, and we're kind of rolling into the end of the school year, so I know you and your staff are kind of wrapping things up and getting ready for a summer.
We're rolling faster and faster toward that. Really looking forward to graduation. High school graduations are so special.
That's right. The best time of year, especially for those families.
It is.
So don't you go away. We want to share with you some of the really neat stories we've gotten to do this year.
Well, thanks for coming back. And Lynn, we've got a club at Woodland Hills Elementary School that, at least in my experience, is a pretty unique club for students to participate in. It's a club that involves, and I got to let my ignorance show, but it involves something to do with satellite technology and something to do with just having plain old fun outdoors. So we're going to learn more about it. We're really pleased to have with us Julie Brewer. Julie was a teacher at Woodland Hills, and Julie, when you were in the classroom, you really kind of initiated this club. Yes. Julie is now, though we're excited, is now the assistant principal at Woodland Hills. And next to Julie is one of Woodland Hills' parents, Mrs. Siddiqui. Mrs. Siddiqui, welcome.
Thanks for having us here.
Oh, our pleasure, and we're especially thankful because you brought your son with you. Adeer Siddiqui. Adeer, welcome. And you are in the 4th grade at Woodland Hills, is that right?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. And we're going to get to you in a second, but you're a part of this club and help me, Adeer. It's called Geocaching?
Geocaching.
Geocaching, thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn to Ms. Brewer. Ms. Brewer, would you please tell all of us, and especially me, what is geocaching?
Sure. Well, imagine a worldwide game of hide and seek between 4 million people, and then add technology. So that's basically geocaching.
Okay.
Yes. And so basically what happens is someone takes a container, it can be a container of any kind. Here I have a vitamin bottle that we have camouflaged with camo tape. And, or this one that our geocaching club created. We took 2 soda bottles and we attached them. And so that's kind of our version of recycling, using something that would become trash. And then you create a container, and Adeer has a very tiny cache. They can be that small. And the top of that actually screws off, and there is a tiny little paper log inside.
Oh my.
So each geocache has a paper log inside of it. And he's going to see if he can get that off.
There.
Yeah. And so then what happens is you hide your container somewhere in nature, and then you use your GPS unit to get accurate coordinates for it. And then you submit it online on geocaching.com. And then other geocachers can go on, use their GPS units to find your cache. And when they do, they just sign the log to show, I found it, I was there. And then they go back onto geocaching.com and they submit their find.
This is kind of a high-tech Where's Waldo, right?
It is exactly a high-tech Where's Waldo, yes.
So what they're learning out of this is not only about the use of technology, but how to plat coordinates and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there are so many academic tie-ins to this hobby. We just have a lot of fun with it, don't we, Adeer? We have a good time. But there's math and science involved, of course, with the GPS technology and the coordinates. Our students do a lot of reading and inferring when they're reading online and trying to decipher the clues to the caches. Every time that we have a meeting, they write in their journals about their adventures. And, you know, it kind of goes beyond that as well, though, because the homeschool connection has been very powerful and very deep with this club. So parents and students have been participating together along with teachers and enjoying this club. And one thing we know is that learners who are engaged and feel a connection to school and to their teachers are just more successful learners. So,
No, absolutely. And add to that, and you make a very, very important point, add to that where a parent or parents are involved, that also pretty well guarantees success in the school where children are concerned. So, Mrs. Siddiqui, tell me about your experience with geocaching from the perspective of it being really a family kind of activity.
Well, it helps us spend more time. It's giving me, I'm spending more time with my kid doing outdoor activities, helps them get outside, walks. Like when we're finding geocaches, sometimes it could be 2 miles, 3 miles walk. So that's a healthy thing. Again, it's taking kids away from playing video games and watching unnecessary TV. Also, we're getting to know the parents that we didn't get a chance before. When we have geocaching or geoclub meetings at school, we get to know those parents and we go out caching together. Kids have fun geocaching, and they love going out with their fellow students and parents together. Of course, it's under supervision with parents because they're always with them. So it is helping in a lot of ways for these kids to learn new things. Every cache itself is unique, so it's never boring. Some caches are puzzle caches, so they learn how to solve puzzles. It helps them understand the techniques to problem solving. It really very helpful for kids since it's not just a game. It involves technology, it involves learning.
Very involved.
That sounds wonderful. Adeer, do you help hide the caches for your school? And how do you choose? How do people choose where to hide them?
Well, there are caches hidden all over the world, and they need to be a 1/10 of a mile or more away from each other.
So do you all at your school decide where you're going to hide yours?
Yeah, kind of like that.
How do you decide where to put them? And tell me a little bit about where you might hide them. Would you hide them in a log or under a stone, or would you hide them? How do you find a place to hide them?
Well, you look around for a good hiding place, and when you find one, you just put it there.
So what kinds of places have you hidden them in?
I've hidden them on strings, at trees, at eye level, and I once hid one between 2 tree stumps.
Wow.
Pretty clever.
Yeah.
That is cool.
We're going to start paying more attention now when we walk, just in case we stumble across one, right? Do you pay more attention to what's around you when you go for a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, the caches typically, Adeer, are they small in size typically, or they just vary?
Yeah, there are different sizes.
Okay.
Some are this tiny, and some could be this big.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
And she has one that's in camo. Do you try to camouflage them so they blend in?
Yes.
Ah, so it doesn't jump out at you immediately. Right.
Well, they are waving us on, and I'm sorry that we're running out of time, but thank you all so much. This is fascinating.
Yeah.
And it just, Mrs. Siddiqui, I just really admire all that you were able to share with us, because what sounds like a very simple kind of activity really is pretty profound as far as children learning and families supporting learning and learning together. So it's just very, very powerful. Julie, thank you. What a creation.
Our pleasure.
Sounds like a
Golly.
lot of
It is
fun,
fun.
really. I bet there are students all over the district that are thinking, what a great idea, let's do that. So,
Absolutely.
So
thank
now,
you.
can you hide people? I mean, maybe I can put Mrs. Fields in a cache.
I want to put him in one too. We'll put him between a log somewhere on the playground. No?
Not a
You
good
can't hide
idea?
people.
All right. Well, we can create a new game.
That's it.
Thank you again. Stay with us. We'll be right back, and she's not going to be a cache. She'll be back too. So stay with us.